high-tech oils, available from Auto One, Sprint Auto Parts, and all leading independent auto stores.
It's a mix of 2- and 4-wheel action on today's show. Our continued coverage of the Shannons Nationals opening round from Sandown kicks into top gear with all the action from the Porsche GT3, Formula Ford and the mighty sports sedans. Then we head up to Sydney Motorsport Park in the opening round of the 2015 Swan Insurance Australasian Superbike Championship as the sport's best riders battle it out for the top prize in Australasian motorcycle racing. This is Speedweek.
There's one thing above all other that stands out about Sandown Raceway. It's close. The walls are close, the curbs are close, and the racing is even closer. Today, the opening round of the Shannons Nationals continues with 3 categories that this year, above all others, should be as close as the circuit they're racing on. The Kerrick Sports Sedan Series launches into 2015 filled with noise and added firepower in the form of young gun Tom Randall and sports sedan legend Kerry Bailey. They'll be up against the legendary Hossack v Ricciardello fight that never decreases in its intensity. The Formula Ford story is different. Gone are a majority of last year's key title winners. In their place, talented newcomers keen to make their mark at a track famous for playing up to the category's reputation for close and hard competition. And then there's the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge presented by Pirelli. It's exploded. More Porsches than ever before bode for a thrilling season. 22 of the flat 6 rockets at the hands of the deepest pool of talent the series has ever seen. So welcome to Sandown. They call it the home of horsepower. But today, it's the home of close competition in the Shannons Australian Motor Racing Nationals. Formed in 2008 as a place for Porsche enthusiasts to compete head-to-head, the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge presented by Pirelli has undergone a culture shift in the last few years. Sure, it's still a great place for fans of the German marque to enjoy their racing, but it's also become something of a development series for Porsche's Carrera Cup main game. Last year's champion Fraser Ross and his rival Michael Arman both jumped to the top of the tree this year after successes in this series. But the GT3 Cup Challenge is a super competitive entity in its own right, with big fields of Porsche's iconic flat 6-powered 911 GT3 Cup cars offering stunning racing and highly competitive competition everywhere they go. The Porsche pack is bigger and better than ever this year. Racing will be too. Sandown International Motor Raceway here in Melbourne for the opening round of the Shannons Australian Motor Racing National. Our coverage continuing. A bump around this, and today is going to be pretty special. The Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge presented by Pirelli up first, Matt Nolte. What an amazing field, an amazing season in store for this category.
Yeah, thanks, Kralsey. 22 cars here this weekend for the opening round of a championship formed back in 2008, and some new names and some familiar faces all set to duke it out in the first round of this championship.
Ryan Simpson is one of them. He's jumped out of the V8 and into the Porsche, and he's looking for a championship challenge in 2015. Well done to Ryan Simpson, the Sonic Motor Racing crew. Celebrations for Simpson and Sonic, 3 from 3 again, this time at Winton.
Yeah, look, we decided to do something different this year. Last year and the year before we did some V8 stuff. This year we wanted to look for a new challenge, so we've gone for the Porsche. We've always sort of done a mix of racing, Formula V, Formula Ford, Aussie racing cars, Commodore Cup, Kumo Series. Like, we've tried a lot of different categories, but I think it's good. It's good for my driving and getting seat time in different types of cars. Very different to the V8. Like, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but less setup involved, so we know that everyone around us has got the same machinery, and it's just down to more the driver. Yeah, look, our expectation this year would be to finish at the top. I think we can. The team's very good. They run Porsche in Carrera Cup. They understand the cars. So look, we'll be out there to obviously stay at the pointy end and hopefully win the championship.
Big field of Porsches underway as we check out some highlights from race number 2 of the weekend under beautiful blue skies here.
And it didn't take long, Matt Nolte, for things to get interesting down at turn 1. That's John Goodacre with his traditional good start. Just went a little bit deep into turn 1, and Ryan Simpson ran off wide and dropped right to the back of the field. Jackson Evans had a spin, the Fastway Couriers 91 car from McElrea Racing. There was a couple of cars charging their way through the field. One of them was John McCorkindale, who was in awesome form in this race.
Getting past the Kiwi, Tim Miles down there at turn 3 and 4. He was slicing his way through the field. Some more passing action further in the field here as we went down to Dandenong Road corner.
Simpson broke the lap record. It was then broken again by John McCorkindale, a brand new Sandown lap record in this race. He had an amazing fight with John Goodacre that lasted most of the duration, including this remarkable exchange.
Yeah, it's a popular passing spot. Tried to switch back here. Thought he nailed him. Got nailed on the front right of the car. And this would slot him up another position here, the former Speedway star. But this guy from the Dunlop Series and former multiple Commodore Cup champion Jeff Emery would take the win in race number 2.
Yeah, it was a ripper motor race. A really good performance by Jeff Emery on his debut in the category. As we now go to pictures from race 3. This is the feature race of the weekend, and it should be an absolute cracker. We should mention Goodacre just pinged a couple of spots, a time penalty for his dramas down there at turn 1 at the start of race 2. Nothing much in it, no real contact. Both drivers were reasonably okay with it, and they both charged their way through the field. Ryan Simpson has been super fast on his debut, but how about Jeff Emery, the 5-time Commodore Cup champion who moved into the V8 Development Series. Now he's in a Porsche. He starts this one from pole position.
Yeah, progressive points set the field. McCorkindale will start on the front row alongside him. Ryan Simpson and John Goodacre on the next row. Over the page, you've got some guys like James Abella, who steps out of Aussie racing cars, down to second generation Aaron Seaton in the backfield positions there.
Third, if you count his granddad, Bo Seaton,
yeah.
of course. So, yeah, amazing family legacy. He's in the Scotty Taylor Motorsport Class B Porsche. Underway, final race. Slow start, Emery. McCorkindale, a well smartly in the dial before you dig, 997. But what about John Goodacre? There's no stopping him off the line. Gets the whole shot and leads them down towards turn 1. What's McCorkindale got?
Just gives him minimal amount of room, and this time Goodacre gets through turn 1. It was a lightning start. I thought McCorkindale's start was impressive. All of a sudden, Goodacre blazed past him.
He just has an amazing ability to get these cars off the line, John Goodacre. Lots of experience, and as of this round, now the most experienced driver in GT3 Cup Challenge history. Abella off the road. An amazing camo livery, 997. That had a big impact early in the weekend. The team worked overnight to get it fixed. Got him back on the road.
Ross McGregor getting caught up in some back marker stuff there as McCorkindale gets passed by Simpson.
Who else but Simpson? Hasn't taken him long to get up to speed in this category. Grabs a break at Dandenong Road. Big slide too. Did he grab the rear of the car before it rotated? I think he did. That was a big late braking moment down there into that heavy stop at the bottom of the hill.
Especially on cold tyres. That was very brave as they come through to complete lap number 1. Goodacre already got a couple of car lengths as they finish the first lap, and everybody comfortably and safely through.
Great field this year. Unbelievable depth as well. And in Friday practice, they had one dry session in the afternoon, and 3rd through 15th covered by less than a second. It was hugely competitive. Emery and Simpson just a little bit out in front. But in race pace, McCorkindale and Goodacre are right in the mix, and guys like Tim Miles are in and about as well. A couple of others right in the mix. Dylan O'Keefe, a newcomer to the category. He's in the Dexion car, just there behind Tim Miles. He's been very impressive this weekend too.
Down the back straight, seen Scott Taylor heading past, and this good battle pack further down. This is inside the top 10, including Sam Shaheen, the man behind the new Taylor Bend Motorsport Park over there in South Australia. As the leaders stack up at Dandenong Road corner, Goodacre has now got Simpson and McCorkindale breathing down his neck.
Yeah, Simpson showing all the abilities he showed last year in the V8 Touring Car Series to extract cold tyre pace. Different tyre brand in the Porsches, but he's still doing such a good job. and just works the Pirellis really well early in the race. Great one-lap speed too. And he's really applying the pressure to the South Australian. McCorkindale behind. Most improved driver last season, arguably the dial before you dig racer, former Speedway ace. And he's right in the mix, down the inside at turn 1. That's the race lead. Simpson in front.
It's amazing when we came to qualifying the other day as Goodacre looks down the inside, gets back into race position. It's amazing in qualifying over the weekend that we had 2 rookies to the category in Simpson and Emery stick it on pole in the front row respectively.
They're hugely experienced rookies though, aren't they,
Yeah,
Matt?
they are.
I mean, Ryan Simpson back in Formula Ford. He's running the V8 Development Series. Got to remember, he had a Carrera Cup pole position at Phillip Island last year, sharing with Nick Foster in the Carrera Cup Pro-Am at the Shannons Nationals round. And that's the pass on McCorkindale at the top of the hill. Wild bit of racetrack. Classic bit of road with the wall on the right-hand side looming ever closer. And this is just quintessential Porsche braking at turn 1. Got it stopped, got it turned in.
Even better in slow-mo.
Porsches are nice at any speed, but in slow-mo they just look even nicer, don't they? Really nice pass. Look a little bit further back, Aaron Seaton under pressure and gets a hit from Nick Cresswell and turns him round at Dandenong Road. First outing in the Porsche Cup car for the son of Glenn.
Tough break. I think he had that corner well and truly covered and now finds himself on the inside of Dandenong Road corner as Goodacre now gets passed by McCorkindale. Come a long way back. It does it nice and easily into turn 1.
He was frustrated and fired up in race 2. McCorkindale got hip and shouldered a little bit further back down the field and drove his way forward. Broke the lap record, a long-standing lap record at this place too. It's a really, really good drive. And charged his way to the front. He's going to be a contender this year, Matt.
Gap was about 2.5 seconds last time by, but still plenty of laps. Working lap 4, this 12-lap Porsche GT3 Championship Open, thanks to Pirelli this year.
Yeah, control tyre, back again for another year. Great product. They're allowed 6 new tyres every weekend, so they aim to put 2 really good ones on. And I spoke to a couple of drivers before this race, and they said we're looking at either the drive tyre, so getting off the slow corners is so important here, so they'll put 2 rear tyres on, or maybe the working side, which at this place is the right-hand side tyres on the car, so they can pick and choose, and whoever has the best rubber at the end of the race is generally the ones that find themselves towards the front. Yeah, that move probably wasn't on, was it? The door was shut firmly though by Aaron.
And the damage has been done, hasn't it?
He's getting a lot of racing this year, Aaron Seaton, racing the Porsche for Scotty Taylor Motorsport. We should say he's running a 2007 spec 997, so they run in Class B. Class A made up of the 2011 spec cars, which have a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more downforce, a bit more performance overall. And the A-Class split into Pro and Elite, much like Porsche Carrera Cup Australia. We should mention, the graduates from this series into Carrera Cup. Last year's champ, Fraser Ross, is in Carrera Cup. Michael Armand in Carrera Cup, but a few. It really has turned into something of a development series in a way for Porsche Carrera Cup Australia. It's great that Porsche's got this internal ladder system.
Yeah.
Where their talent can go up through the ranks.
What's McCorkindale got for us? Just set his personal fastest lap of the race, 1:12.00. Last time by, it's about 2 seconds between the first 2 now. Some lap traffic ahead. Simpson still your leader. McCorkindale and then Goodacre back in 3rd place.
Yeah, we need to clear the lap car fairly quickly. That's Sigarides back for his 2nd year in a very nicely liveried Hunter French 997. And McCorkindale should clear him too on the exit of turn 4. So McCorkindale's going with the leader here. He's got great speed. The dial before you dig Porsche. Real budget racer, does it on his own. He's started up his own little race team. Had some support from Mark Buick and the Buick Motorworks operation last season and had a huge amount of advice from that experienced team to help get him up to speed in what was his first full season in Porsche competition, and ended up having a ripper season, a couple of round wins. Here's Emery. This guy's got plenty of experience too. 5 times a champion in Commodore Cup. Good results in development series. And now deciding to make the switch into Carrera Cup.
I thought for a while he was going to stay in Commodore Cup forever there and completely annihilate the opposition in there. Then we saw him jump into the development series, and now in this Porsche GT3. We're on board with him on lap 9 of this 12-lap race.
Great noise. 450 horsepower, Porsche flat 6. just finding some rear end grip there. As we go back and have a look at a battle for around the top 5 positions here. This is Tim Miles, the Autobahn car out of the McElroy Racing stable. Expat Kiwi. Of course, we'll claim him as our own when he's being successful. Great character.
As we do.
He's one of the most entertaining guys you'll ever speak to. Of course, a former co-owner of the Tasman Motorsport team in V8 Supercar. And heavily involved in supercars over the years. Really enjoying his Porsche racing. He and Andy McElroy, great mates as we look at Ryan Simpson tipping into turn 1. And we wait for the gap back to John McCorkindale in P2.
Beautiful slow-mo shots. The run down to turn 2. The drop away of the circuit when you hit the curb. It takes us around the horse race course section of this Sandown Raceway, right in suburban Victoria, just on the outskirts of Dandenong and in between Clayton and Springvale and places like that.
It's a great place to go motor racing too, Matt. Just a little slide there on the slow-mo. Jed Wallace, the Adelaidean in the number 60 car, the Warren Mining entry. The Wallace family known for their racing in Porsches and V8s as well. Oh, contact at turn 1. And off the road in a big way off down the escape road. It's Jono Taylor, newcomer to the category this year. He's mates with former champ Fraser Ross, or defending champion Fraser Ross.
That's David Ryan has made contact with down there. It was a pass that probably he just miscued. He only just tapped the back of him and has put both cars out the race. Meantime, back at the front, McCorkindale just closing the gap all but slightly on the back of Simpson. Back on board with the dial before you dig entry to finish lap 10.
That's a shame for David Ryan, who was having a really good weekend. Corporate lawyer by trade, but really enjoys his racing. In fact, had a lot of success in Australian production car racing, driving the Ford Falcon, of all things, in the mid-2000s. Had a couple of years away and rejoined into Porsche competition. Just a bit of contact there in the braking zone into turn 1. Deceptively fast corner 2, Matt. It's quite a quick entry. Just didn't pull out in time, and unfortunately it badly damaged the left rear rim of Ryan's Porsche.
Second observation is a lot of damage to that wheel at the back, so that's the end of his race. He got off just parking that and not causing any more damage, probably just get off the racing line. Come around to finish off another lap. The Autobahn entry of Miles, chasing O'Keefe, who's got past him.
Yeah, a really impressive weekend for Dylan O'Keefe. He's adapted to these cars very quickly in that well-presented Dexion entry. There's John Caratinos. He was one of the most improved drivers last year as well. I know I said that about McCorkindale, but he was winning races. Caratinos was on the podium a couple of times in the second half of last season. And there's so much to look forward to this year as well, Matt. The Jim Richards Endurance Trophy will fire up when we head to Winton for the next round of the series. Regional Victoria, so a little bit up the Hume from where we are now. Those long distance 40 or 50 minute races really changed the game from that short, sharp sprint racing format we love in Porsches to the stuff that Porsches are even better at, which is going the distance. And the Jim Richards Enduro Trophy is now a must-win part of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge presented by Pirelli. This is a battle for the final spot on the podium. Jeff Emery applying the pressure to John Goodacre, but Ryan Simpson on debut will get the flag and take the opening round of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge. And here's this fight, it'll be close to the line, but Goodacre will just edge out. Jeff Emery really just edge out. That was close.
Great finish. McCorkindale just come up short then, the gap just a whisker under a second at the line there. Emery and Goodacre just thumbs up. That was a great battle between those guys. There's the confirmation of your top 8.
What a great race. What a great season it's going to be. Standout performances, Dylan O'Keefe in 5th. Tim Miles just behind Jed Wallace, a good performance too, and John Caratinos. Over the page to Sam Sheehan. Ryan Fint rounding out the top 16, and unfortunately Aaron Seaton and David Ryan failing to finish.
Yeah, look, we wanted to go out there and give it a shot for the win. So to come away with a round win on debut, we're quite happy with that, and we're just going to keep that flowing into the coming rounds and hopefully get a good result in this championship. Going to a V8 to a Porsche, I wasn't sure what to expect, but this has been great fun. They're a great car to drive, and it's proving to be challenging. There's some fast guys out there, and it's going to be a tough year.
So in the outright standings after one round, Ryan Simpson leads Jeff Emery in the GT3 Cup Challenge. He also leads the Pro class over John McCorkindale. Emery leads the Elite Division. Nick Cresswell leads Jackson Evans in the Class B standings. It's going to be a ripper year of GT3 Cup Challenge racing, Matt Nolte.
Yep, next time we see them at Winton in upcoming months here on Speedweek. After the break, we're going to check out all the action from the first round of the Australian Formula Ford Series here from Sandown International Raceway.